Good evening, everybody. As you can hear, my house is settling in. It's 6:30. The day is over with, and that is what is going on around here. We are all trying to get our showers. I just finished cooking dinner. Sorry, let me eat my peppermint first. Anyway, we're all trying to shower and get dinner. Everybody's kind of winding down. And that's just this time of the night for my house. So when I was thinking about the 6:30 schedule, I was like, we need a decompress. For most of us, the day is over or the day is coming to an end. So all the time I be on here just screaming at y'all. Oh my God, welcome to the live stream. Right? I be on here screaming at y'all. This is going to be a little bit different where we're just going to kind of chill, kind of take in the day, reflect on the day a little bit, and just have some conversation about some things and how your day was affected, how your day started, how your day ended, some of the highs and the lows throughout your day, and how you would like your day to be better on tomorrow. Okay, just some of the things that I do in the evening for my wind down. I have these cards. Let's see if it'll focus. I have these cards. They're called, and this is Jesus. Let me put my phone on D&D, y'all. Okay, this is a really intimate share for me because I typically try to keep all of the things that I do in the background just kind of to myself, right? Because it's really nobody's business. Let me just give y'all this personality, and then I'll deal with the real pressing me, to myself. But these are some of the things that I do. So these cards are some cards that have different things. So let me just get you one. So this card specifically, we won't read it, but this card is about what I would like to focus on for the day, how I'm going to engage on this, why is this thing important to me, and how do I want to feel after I accomplish it. So I fill out these little cards, and there's several of them that I already filled out. That will be the one that I start in the morning. Then we have the gratitude card, and this card is the card that I'll do in the evening, right? To go and say what I'm thankful for throughout the day. What was the best part of your day so far? 3 things that I'm grateful for, and what am I looking forward to? So this is the card that we're going to start on tonight, the gratitude one. And you can see here I have several of them that are already complete. And I just try to put them in the back after I finish them and pull the front. See, the next one would be my goals card. Like, what are my goals for the day? And then this last one is self-care. How will you implement self-care? So in this Unwind Live, please make sure when you come to the live stream, you double tap the live stream. Double tap the live stream. Make sure if you're not subscribed to the channel, you subscribe to the channel. And to your left, no, to your right, you'll find a little list of emojis. You see right now there are hearts going up in the corner. Make sure you tap on those, right? Because we need you to be interactive. We need you to be engaging, and we need you to tap in. And feel free to talk to me. So I'm sure a lot of people don't have these cards, but if you can find these cards are called, well, okay, it's a box of 60 inspiring cards designed by Dana Lee Collection. All right, if you can find these cards, I encourage everybody to get you a box of these cards. They really come in handy. Tonight we're going to start with me filling out this card, and we're just going to talk about your day. How was your day? What did you do today? What were some of the highs? What were some of the lows that you experienced on today? And if you could go back and have a moment that you wanted to do over. Now we know we can't go back and do a moment over, but the question is what did you learn from that moment? Okay, what did you learn from that moment? As you guys come in, please be sure that you double tap the live stream. Give me that like, okay? Give me that like. I hope you guys are adjusting to our new schedule. At least this in my brain cells, at least it is a planned schedule. It's an actual schedule. So that alleviates just guessing, having your notifications running so that you can catch me when I'm live. This is very specific to what it is that we're doing. So the first question that I'm going to ask to everybody, let me speak to everybody in the comments. What's going on, Ashley? Welcome to the live stream. Gamehead, welcome to the live stream. Bah, welcome to the live stream. Rosie Robinson said, hello, I'm Rosie. I'm a fire lookout in Wyoming. I took the job to escape, find solace, and avoid making the difficult decisions of placing my husband in a long-term care facility. Hey, Brent, how you doing? Brent is in the building. E-Man says, hello, E-Man. How are you? I hope all is well. E-Man also says, I'm a graphic designer and would love to connect with you and also help in moderating your community, and also if I could have your other platform so I can drop my proposal if you don't mind. Emmanuel, that was a whole lot in one paragraph. I do appreciate you being here. Thank you for sharing all those things. If you would just come back and hang out with us every so often, and we will see about the exchange of information. We will see about the collaboration or whatever it is that you have to do. So just give me a couple times. Let me get a feel for who you are. Brent, I'm so happy that you enjoyed. I'm so happy that you guys enjoyed Mars and Venus. That was a good time. If you missed Mars and Venus, y'all, it's taken forever to process and upload. But when I tell you, you definitely want to make sure that you tap in. Mars and Venus was super dope. We really had a good time. There was a lot of information exchanged. Again, we're not professionals. We're not licensed professionals or anything. We are talking to you based on our own personal experiences. And sometimes we're on, sometimes we're off. Everything will not work for you. Okay? Speaking of everything not working for you, Everything Ain't For Everybody is a new podcast started by Vyoshi and Cheryl from Melanated Mushrooms. And guys, if you are into health and wholeness and arts and crafts, they are the people. They talk you through these things, tell you what they have going on in life, bring you into the background of their life, and they are a part of Flash Mob Entertainment. So I do encourage all of you guys to go and find out. All of y'all already aware of Uno in Real Life. Y'all make sure y'all tapped into Uno in Real Life and the Ones Detective Agency, and that's the Ones Detective Agency. Make sure you're tapped in. We are a family, and we are building families within our family. Okay, so with all that being said, all right, we had a great live today, and we're going to start here with our first question for the evening. What was the best part of your day? All right, I'm going to write mine, and you guys put yours in the comments. And if you feel comfortable, put it in the comments. If not, just write it down. I'm going to share mine. But right now we're going to write it out. Okay. What's going on, Clinton? How are you? Welcome to the live stream. All right. The best part of mine was waking up this morning and being thankful. Carrot said, "Hope you're having a good night." I'm sorry. Yes, good afternoon, Carrot. Good evening, Carrot. Welcome to the live stream. I am having a great night. My day was amazing. Thank you for asking. Brent said the best part of mine was waking up this morning and being thankful. Nicole said, "Hi, Nicole. Welcome to the live stream." Carrot, I just spoke to you. The best part of my day was executing the schedule that I put in place and also feeling purposeful in my encounters. Not like I was just being in a space or just taking up a space, but feeling like I was actually doing something that was within my purpose that God ordained me to do. And also, I felt an incredible sense of contentment and peace today. So that was a really good thing. Like, I didn't feel rushed, I didn't feel hurried, I didn't feel like things were getting away from me. I felt like I had the energy and the drive to do everything that I set out to do for today. So that felt really good. I'm really grateful for that being the result of today. The next question is, share three things that you are grateful for. Okay. Um, Afro said, "Go to sleep, sleeping space." Okay. Bunker, hey Bunker, I'm still a cherry boy. I do believe there's someone out there for me, but all I seem to attract are back alley sallies. Have you got any advice? Bunker, I think that if those are the type of people that you are attracting, then you probably need to reevaluate the places that you are hanging out or the places that you are seeking these people. If you go to a club or you go to a club, a bar, if you go to wherever, that people are only there to have a good time and you're looking for something of substance in those places, the likelihood of that happening is slim to none. So my only advice would be, and I'm not saying that it's impossible for it to happen, but what I am saying is that maybe you should check the places that you are surrounding yourselves in, the places that you are lending your time to, the places that you are being in the midst of, and you probably will get a different result from there. Hey Thurman, welcome to the live stream. Good evening, beauty. How is it going? It is going amazing. Hey family, hey Miguel. Hey family, checking in, aka Country Kid. Hey, what said? You fired. Look who's talking. What? Hey, what I do today? You fired me yesterday. Was it yesterday? You fired me the day for yesterday. Brent said, "I'm grateful for my kids, family, being able to be a provider." That's funny. My three things that I'm grateful for: my mother, I'm grateful for my children, and I'm grateful for another day. Those are the three things that I would that I'm grateful for. If you're just now coming into the live stream, this is Unwind with Modesty. You guys will notice that I am not screaming at you guys today. Why? Because we're not presenting the character today. I am giving you a behind the scenes dive into how I relax, how I settle into my evening before I go out and do anything else. Okay, I take some time to myself and I write and I really process what it is that has been going on throughout the day. So tonight we're filling out a gratitude card. Okay, most of you will not have these cards, but if you do not mind sharing these things in the comments, that would be amazing. If you do have these cards or you have a journal, I'm going to give you a few prompts and you go in and write here, write the date, and at the top of it in the corner, you can put modest unwind. Okay. So the first question was, what was the best part of your day so far? My answer was, the best part of my day was executing the schedule that I put into place, feeling purposeful in my encounters, and a strong sense of peace and contentment. That's that was the best part of my day. Like I felt like I just had the capacity to do all the things today. Nothing felt like it was getting away from me. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I was really excited to execute my day, and so I'm happy about that. Three things that I am grateful for today. I'm grateful for my mother. I'm grateful for my children, and I'm grateful for another day. Our last question is, what are you looking forward to? Now, this is one of the questions that I really always struggle with any of the cards. Like, well, specifically this gratitude section of the card. I always struggle with what am I looking forward to? Not because I don't have things to look forward to, right? But because I like to live life with the expectation that God can do anything exceedingly and abundantly above all that I can think, right? And I know that it's good to look forward to expect something so that God can blow my mind. I do understand that. But also, I feel like anything that I say will be like minimal, right? So I struggle, but I still make sure that I put something in the space. So, what I am looking forward to, let's see. Okay, let's see the comments. Brent said, I'm grateful to all the wonderful times that I've spent with my mother before she passed in 2019. I'm sorry for your loss, Brent. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And it's always good to focus on those good times. Good times are important. That's why our memories lie. Like, of course, in the natural, we miss these people, but oftentimes when we lose somebody, they are better off than we are, right? And that doesn't take away their presence for us or for you. That doesn't take that away. But I always try to lean into the memories that I have that nobody can take away, because people steal pictures, people try to take money, people, all these things, but they can't take your memories. They can't take who this person was to you away from you. So I try to lean into that whole thing, and I love that. So that's good that you enjoyed the times that you spent with her. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Nira said, "Hey dear, hey Nira, how are you? Welcome to the live stream." Nira, yes, I have Instagram. Miguel said, "You okay, little bro Brent?" Miguel said, "Moo, what's up, best friend?" Um, so what am I looking forward to? I am looking forward to falling in love and meeting the family that I was guided to online, and that will be Flash Mob Entertainment. That whole family. I've never met these people in real life. We've never been in the same place at the same time, and I look forward to being in the same place at the same time with them and really exchanging some ideas and our minds, like, because we're all super creative, we're all super just dope, like we're just very, very different people, but we're all the same, and it's so cool to just witness digitally. So I look forward to meeting them in real time. That's something that I'm really excited about. The next, let's see, Brent said, I'm looking forward to being a better father, prosperity, and new goals in life. That's good, Brent. Abdul said, have you heard about Epstein scandal? Even Trump went in Epstein Island. That sounds like it was awesome. Do you got no hair up there, or is it black? I mean, I think it's hair up here. Troy, I don't know. You let me know, okay? When you figure it out, you let me know, because I think it's there. And then even y'all, that's the thing. Like, so, like, I did my workout today. I did my live today. I did my hair today. I retied my hair. You know, I retied my hair today. I cooked dinner. I went to the store, got my daughter stuff for her party that she has coming up, her dance that she has coming up. I cooked dinner, did the dishes, cleaned the kitchen. I did all these things today, and like I don't feel burnt out. I don't feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like I feel really excited that I did not let the day take over me. Okay, like I did not let the day get away from me, and so that was pretty cool. Um, let's see. He said, I am wonderful, big bro Miguel. Nah, it's hair. Okay, cool. Troy, I'm happy that it's hair there. Thank you for letting me know that it's hair up there. Um, so like I just feel like today was really good. Like today was really, really good for me. I'm really excited about it. It makes me hopeful. It makes me hopeful. It makes me want to see what happens tomorrow. Like, like I'm looking forward to another day. I'm looking forward to yet another execution. And all these things are small steps to just building the life that I desire for myself, building and setting the expectations that I have for myself when it comes to on a daily basis. What's going on, Roberto? Welcome to the live stream. Hoo-doo. I hope all is well. Tonight, this is just the unwind. We just kicking it. Everybody is getting off work. Everybody is settling into the house, probably getting out of their work clothes. Everybody's just chilling. And I decided to bring you guys a chilled vibe for the evening. Instead of me screaming at you guys all the time, I know I be hollering, okay? And y'all don't tell me nothing. Well, some people do come in here and tell me, girl, stop screaming. But again, this is me pulling back the layers and not presenting to you the character, but showing you the work that needs to be done in the background in order for me to execute what we do here online, or even in my day-to-day life. Most of y'all know, like, I have a lot of things going on outside of the internet. I have a lot of things going on with my children. I have a lot of things going on with the organizations that I'm a part of, mentorship program, all these things. And so in order to just maintain my own, first of all, my own capacity within myself, like to make sure that I'm not allowing things to get me out of character, to make me react in a manner that is not pleasing to God nor pleasing to myself. One thing, y'all, let me tell you what I dislike a lot. I do not like being angry. I don't. I said this earlier on Mars and Venus. If you have not watched Mars and Venus, as soon as they finish processing, I'm going to post it. Make sure you go and tap into the replay. But I said this earlier. I don't like negative energy. I don't like low vibrational things. I would just rather things be copacetic, right? I don't like that high, heightened sense of just a lot of things going on. Chaos really makes me anxious, okay? So I have to do these things behind the scenes before I can go and face even my children, before I can go face my children, before I can go face my club, before I can go face the mentorship program. I have to be in my word. Like, I have to be in my word. I have to journal or write poetry, whatever. And I have to make sure that I do these things, because if I do not do these things, then it does not give me an outlet. And for me, because I am alone, and yes, I have friends that I can call and I can talk to, and they don't mind listening sometimes, but all the times, it's not always meant for you to discuss something with everybody, right? Again, boom, boom, boom. Everything ain't for everybody. Tap in with Melanated Mushrooms, y'all. That's a good title, y'all. That's the name of their podcast. Everything ain't for everybody. So y'all make sure y'all tap in Melanated Mushrooms. Y'all go check them out. But so sometimes it's just good for me to just kind of write it out and kind of process it and deal with it on a personal level, right? And a lot of times that is the thing that I'm comfortable with. I'm not so comfortable talking to people, especially when I'm at a heightened space of emotions and I'm trying to process the emotions, because in my processing of the emotions, if the wrong person is on the receiving end of the conversation, then it just becomes just a mosh posh of mess. It just becomes a miscommunication of chaos. So you have to be careful. So I have to be careful with those things. And so in those instances where I can't get something out, I would rather write it down, right? I would rather write it down. Let me feel all the 85 feelings that I feel. And also because I am an overthinker. Okay, God is delivering me from overthinking, but I am currently still struggling with overthinking. Because I am an overthinker, it is better for me to write than it is for me to speak, because writing allows my brain to organize all the thoughts. If I have an extended period of time where I'm not journaling, then the outcome of me not journaling is me not being able to eradicate my feelings well or my emotions well. And I dislike that a whole lot. If you never read the book Runaway Emotions by Robert Shreve, I encourage you guys to read that book. That is an amazing book. Ever since I read the book, I've never ever, so I'm talking about since the day I closed the back cover, I've never had the issue that I used to struggle with, the issues that I used to struggle with my emotions. It gave me a new insight, a new understanding, a new way to approach feelings and emotions. So if you have never read the book, it's called Runaway Emotions by Robert Shreve. Go and get it. Like, order it, run and go get it. It is a really, really, really good book. Let me go through some of these comments. Roberto, we got you. Miguel said, I'm looking forward to being the best person I can be in this new year, as well. Plus also being a better person too. Stanley said, I'm back. Hey Stanley, welcome back to the live stream. We missed you so much. The MMA said hi. Arnell says Super Bowl, Patriots or Seahawks. Well, I think I told somebody this before. I'm going specifically on the color of the uniforms, and I like the Seahawks. But other than that, I don't know any stats of anything to have an opinion. Power to you at Brent Thomas said MMA. Miguel said, also looking forward to writing in my journal as well to get stuff off my mind too. Nevaeh said, you're so precious. God bless you, Nevaeh. You as well. The MMA, okay, how you doing tonight too? I only read comics. Got any suggestions? Well, I don't know anything about comics, okay? I would be leading you amiss if I told you a lie and said, hey, yeah, you should go read. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's in, what's out, what's not. None of the above. So the next card we're going to move to our, wait, I can't see it. Goals card. Going to move to our goals card. You have that nerd aura though. Well, hey, listen, thank you. I like it for me. Thank you for that. We're going to move to our goals card. And our goals card is simple. All right. It's it. Big dreams start here. Right. I appreciate no finest. I didn't yes. No, fetus finoist. Finoist. I didn't take it as an insult. Like I said, I appreciate it. This is our goal card. What is your goal? Your action steps to your goal, and what is your deadline? Right? So my goal is, as you all, well, a lot of you are aware, I wrote a praise dance workbook. However, the Lord turned this into a book. A book. It's a book. It's a journal. It's so many things. And so because of that, I'm having a hard time deciding whether or not I want to release just the workbook or if I want to release it as an entire body. The workbook would be specific to the praise dancers, but the body of work would be specific to the creative worship arts ministry. So my goal is to make a decision concerning the book. All right. Brent said, I'm not really. Okay. Mox said, hey, Mox, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. Brent said, I'm not really a writer like that. I mean, that's fair. Brent, here's the thing. Most guys don't really do that much writing. At least most men that I know, they don't really do that much writing, because men are very internal beings. You guys are resolution based, where a lot of times, oftentimes, women need a little bit more time to process some things. And that's why I'm saying you have to have a person in your life that is ordained for you, whether it be friends, foes, but especially your partner. You want to make sure that you and your partner are ordained for one another, so that they know how you flow and you know how they flow. But I know that men don't do too much writing, but I do encourage men to have a small journal, even if it's not, you know, a whole big old journal. Have a journal. You know what I'm saying? Have a journal so that you can write some things down. Leo, we're gonna call you Leo. Leo said hello, Brent. Brent said hello, Leo. Leo said, Brent, how old are you now? Just curious. Brent said, I'm 39. Miguel said, Leo, hi, it's Miguel. And so the action steps that I'm going to put into place. Oh, so the question is, what is your goal? And we're just going to do the goal for the week. What is your goal for this week? All right. Action steps to accomplish this: prayer, prayer, and seek God for direction. Um, See, and the problem is, so I have the creative arts part of it, and then I have the completed praise dancers workbook. The issue is combining it to where it's one cohesive thought. That's the issue. Um, Work on making it a cohesive thought. Then also make a decision. Make a decision. That's really what it comes down to make a decision. My deadline for this is going to be February the 5th, 2026. And then we'll come back to this and see what happens here, right? Come back and see what happens here. Um, ooh. One other thing that I really enjoy, like I enjoy in my wind down, I like watching TV. So like I like a good twist and turn series. Y'all need stuff for my lips. Why y'all let me come in here with nothing for my lips? Brent, you already knew I was gonna need something for my lips. I like watching shows with twists and turns and all these things in there, because it allows my mind to stop. It allows my mind to slow down. I love crime shows. I prefer true crime, but I'll watch like some, movie crime. But even in that, I'm still looking for the true crime. They were a lot of dry Brent. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Okay. All right, Jesus. You saw I kept licking them. Once I get to licking them like that, that girl, you need something to do. You got to fix this. Okay. Whew. Let's see, Miguel. Speaking, Miguel said, I'm 35 years old. NBA Bryston said, prayers. Prayer, let God lead me and more blessings. Amen. They were just a little dry. Brent Thomas, you are older than me. I'm older than both of y'all. Oh, wow. Why is the back of my arm itching? It's so itchy and you can't even get in there in this thing. I'm older than both of you. I'm 42. I'm 42 years old. Another thing that I do, my daughter thinks that I'm crazy, but whatever, I'm going to share it with y'all. I recite this in the morning and I recite this in the evening 5 times. 5 times. Do 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 do. Hold on, let me see. I gotta find it, y'all. I really don't need it, but I want to read it verbatim. Oh, here we go. So I recite this, and then I do this. Okay. All right. It says, God is who He says He is. God can do what He says He can do. I am who God says I am. I can do all things through Christ. God's word is alive and active in me. And then I hold up my shield, right? In this season, I am learning to have more faith. Like, I'm actually looking to have radical faith, right? In that causes a strong sense of discipline, and you have to believe God on another level, right? You have to believe God on another level. And so in this season, I am making a conscious choice to believe God on another level. With that being said, I still have to kill my flesh, which means, we talked about this earlier, to cast down thoughts that are not of God, to cast down thoughts that are of my own imagination or my own influence. So in order to do so, I want to remind myself daily that God is who He says He is. God can do what He says He can do. I am who God says I am. I can do all things through Christ. God's word is alive and active in me. Hold up my shield, right? So now we done started this, so y'all, I got to do it 5 times. Like, that's 2, okay? I won't do them back to back to just bore y'all to death, but I can't not do it now because I done started it, right? God is who He says He is. God can do what He says He can do. I am who God says that I am. I can do all things through Christ. God's word is alive and active in me. One more time. God is who He says He is. God can do what He says He can do. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I am who God says I am. I can do all things through Christ. God's word is alive and active in me. Last time. God is who He says He is. God can do what He says He can do. I am who God says I am. I can do all things through Christ. God's word is alive and active in me. Right? And I put up my shield of faith. Right? So a fun fact, like, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Tomorrow, 6:30 in the morning, we'll talk about understanding the armor of God. Okay? It's a lot of misconception, a lot of things that people don't learn how to properly use their armor. And so tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. for Modest Mornings, we will talk about properly using your armor. Okay, we all know the scripture says, put on the whole armor of God so that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. But what does that armor do? What does that armor look like? How do you utilize all of your armor? Let's see. Lazarus says, I'm literally, okay, well, congratulations, Lazarus. Okay, now you don't need that much on your lips. That's not a lot, Brent. You seen this? Look, it was half empty. But guess what? Amen. Big Sister Mossy, preach it. I'm here for it. You see, this is empty. I want y'all to know, this is my favorite gloss, okay, of all time. It's by Maybelline. It's called Sensational Gloss. Do you know they don't make this color anymore? Makes me so angry. But this is my favorite gloss. But I'm out of it. And I've been trying for forever. You see this at the bottom? I've been trying to get that out of there. It's just in there. It's just all the way in there. So that'll be tomorrow. So make sure you have your alarm set for 6:30 a.m. and we're going to discuss the armor of God and how to use your armor. Okay, it's gonna be a great conversation. It's gonna be a good time. I look forward to it. Like, Sometimes the thing that you run from or try to avoid is the thing that you end up doing, right? I think all of this is one of those things. Like, what's going on, Pierre? Welcome to the live stream. I think for the longest, I've tried to not be so Bible based and not be so not be so Bible based in my content, and yes, show my relationship with God, and that I'm a Christian and all these things with my videos and my singing to the reels and everything. But I always said I don't want to come on here and be trying to debate the word of God with people or beat the word of God down to people. I've always said that I did not want to do that. But God has definitely rewritten this. Well, he didn't rewrite it. He already wrote it, okay? But the script has definitely changed for me. The script has definitely changed for me to where this just feels so natural. Like this is my everyday life. I don't have to get on here and brace myself for whatever it is that I'm about to say crazy out of my mouth. I can just be who I am without trying to be overly crunk about life and all that. You know what I'm saying? I can just be who I am. And that feels so settled within me. It feels like such a settling within me. So that brings me to something really crazy. About 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and literally I was reading this in real time right before I started the live stream. A couple weeks ago, I was writing about coming into agreement, right? And yes, I was writing about coming into agreement. And what I wrote concerning this, like, because you know we come into agreement with a lot of things that people say about us. Like if somebody tell you you're ugly, you're fat, you're bald headed, all these things, like we let those things penetrate us and we come into agreement with those things. If somebody tells us that we are anything that somebody pours into you that is negative, we will come into agreement with those things. You just like your mama. You just like your daddy. You're not gonna never do this. We come into agreement with those things. And so I began to just pray and just seek God, asking, what does it mean to come into agreement? And like, if God says this about me, what does it mean to come into agreement with that thing? And so right before this live began, I was reading this. Like I said, I wrote this about 2 weeks ago, maybe even 3 weeks ago. Coming into agreement. Coming into agreement is not about doing more. It's about believing from the correct place. That's a bar, ain't it? That's what time you get off in the morning, 6:30? Okay. It's not about doing more, it's about believing from the correct place. Scripture reveals this pattern. Authority does not come from effort, it comes from agreement. Most of the people in the Bible, when God gave them a word, when God told them something about them, it wasn't until they got into agreement with what they heard God said, because they were hearing God. Moses in the burning bush, okay, that's a good example, right? That he told him that he was on holy ground, right? To remove his shoes. When Moses removed his shoes, he came into agreement that yes, I agree, this is holy ground, right? So then what you're feeling is the tension between what God has already spoken over you and what your inner world is still negotiating. All right. Proverbs 23:7 says, as he think in his heart, so is he. This verse is not about positive thinking, it's about identity formation. The heart is the command center. It has your will, your belief, your imagination, and your consciousness. Okay. Thought patterns repeated in the heart become permission slips for our reality. So again, if we keep coming into agreement with the negative things that people speak over us, and then we have these things hidden in our heart, and this word is not hidden in our heart, the truth is not hidden in our heart, then we come into agreement with those things, and we keep repeating those things, and they become permission slips for our everyday life. I can think back to when I came into agreement with survival, right? When my husband passed, this was a tremendous thing. Like it wasn't just the grief itself. It was the financial responsibility. It was the new responsibility of me being a single mother of 3 children. It was the new responsibility of now I have to take care of all of the bills by myself. Now I have to drive. Shoot, that was a big old agreement. Okay, I have to drive. I have to, now I'm all alone, right? Now I'm all alone. So I got to do what I got to do to make sure that the children are okay. And so I came into agreement with survival. And I did not know how to break that agreement with survival. So in that, I could never experience real happiness because all I knew was to survive. All I knew was, man, I got to make this okay. Man, I got to make sure that there's money to do this, there's money to do that. I got to make sure I came into agreement with survival. And so thriving was like a foreign language to me. And in honesty, like I'm just getting over a space to where I'm like, hey, listen, I am ready to live. I'm ready to thrive. I am sick of existing and I'm sick of just surviving. I want to be elated. I want to be so happy. I want to be so sound. I want to be so well within myself, within, not even just within myself, but out loud. I want to be so well that I can't ignore it. I don't care what other people see. I want to see this for myself, right? So the next part of it says you don't become what you desire, you become what your heart has already agreed is true. Excuse me. You become what your heart has already agreed is true. If part of your heart still sees yourself as waiting, preparing, almost ready, or needing approval or validation from somebody, then authority will feel inconsistent even if gifting is strong. So it doesn't matter how many talents that you have. If you've come into agreement with something that is beyond you, other than I'm the head and not the tail, I'm going above, never under. If you come into agreement with anything beneath that, then you are losing your authority. And that's why you find value in what people that you've mentally put in a position of power, a position of respect, you find their value of you as the evidence of how God values you, and that's just not right, right? Proverbs 4:23 says, "Guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life." Issues in this moment means the boundaries. This is where your boundaries lie. Out of outcomes and directions will be in your heart if you do not guard it, right? Again, tomorrow we're going to talk about understanding the armor of God. So again, 6:30 a.m. Make sure you tap in 6:30 a.m. Brent, I know you said you getting off work at that time. We got some comments. Miguel said, I'm usually sleeping around 6:30 in the morning. Okay, and if you guys can't make it, that's fine. It's all as well. Rike said, remember me? I do remember you, Rike. Jake, I do remember you. Usually said, good morning from India. Good morning. Brent said, bars. Miguel said, we are here for you, Sister Modesty. We are your family to you now. We will always be there for you as well. I appreciate that. Sean Juan? Yes, Sean Juan said, hey, beautiful. Hey, Sean, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. Noah, hello, welcome to the live stream. So then I wrote, life doesn't respond to what God can do. It responds to what your heart allows God to do, right? Again, if we have it in our hearts that we don't deserve whatever, blah, 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 then how can God give us blah, 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 blah if we don't feel like we deserve it? Like if your child is, I don't know, if your child is doing something and you don't feel like they deserve to be, or they don't feel like they deserve to be rewarded for said behavior, then, and you go ahead and reward them anyways, they're not going to find value in that reward because it wasn't something that they felt like they deserved. They might appreciate it. They might even get excited, like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, right? And God will do some unexpected things for us. Like, I'm not saying that God won't do unexpected things for us. God will do some unexpected things for us. But sometimes we have to make sure that our hearts are in alignment. Our hearts are in alignment with where He is calling us to, right? I'm sorry. Yeah, our heart is in alignment to what it is that we're seeking God for. Your life is not blocked by opposition. It's being shaped by unchecked access to beliefs that don't belong to your future. God is not asking you to add more faith. He's asking you to protect what has already been planted. So I just told y'all I desire to have this radical faith where I always think about this story. My aunt Doris told me that one day she was driving from Sam's. That's her favorite store. She was driving from it's another store she loves too. But anyways, this is her favorite store. She said she was driving from the store, and as she was driving from the store, she heard the Lord tell her to pull over to this hospital. Okay. She said she pulled her because she went through traffic, pulled her car over to this hospital. She said when she got to the hospital, the Lord told her to park. She parked. She said after the Lord told her to park, told her to get out the car and go into the hospital. She got out the car, went into the hospital. She said she was just walking around. What's going on, Jamaican? Welcome to the live stream. She said she was just walking around until the Lord told her to stop. She stopped, and where she stopped at, it was a guy in his room, and she said she just kind of went into his room and she prayed with him. And so as she still as she prayed for him, he coded, and the people came running in there, and she just slipped out. And after that, I don't know what happened, but like I look at what she said, and that was a blind obedience. Like, who finna go walk into somebody random hospital room? Okay, girl, what if they would have thought that you came in there and stopped the man's heart machine? Who who would do that, right? I want that kind of faith. I want to hear God on that level that she has, and not like her. I'm not trying to have her anointing, her calling, or any of this, but like just that obedience, for her to be obedience when she's in the middle of traffic, for God to tell her something, she's like, right? I want to do that. I want to in real time be like, okay, wait a minute, pump your brakes. Okay, let me go over here and see what it is that God has for me to do. So, God is not asking you to add more faith. He's asking you to protect what is already planted. So that would be exercising how you already believe, right? Exercising what you already have faith in. And with anything, a spiritual journey is about conditioning. We are conditioned. Everything that we go through, it strengthens us to go farther and farther and grow more and grow more. It makes us feel like we can do all things through Christ, right? It makes us literally feel like we can do all things, right? Because we've been through so many things, so many obstacles, so many challenges. We face so many different things that when we come through those things, we feel stronger for the next thing, because the thing that we thought that was going to break us and take us out, it didn't. And our scripture earlier today, Isaiah 41, fear not, right? The Lord's telling us all these times where we didn't have to fear, where we shouldn't fear. And that's one of those things. So that's the level that I desire to walk with God on. Is like, I want to be like obedient, but first I got to stop being stubborn. I had to come out of my survival mindset, so that I can receive the new information that God is giving, that God has been downloading, so that I could really absorb and take in those things, so that it doesn't look like I'm just out here just afraid of everything. Because we talked about unhealthy fear and healthy fear. That is an order of reverence. To be able to reverence something is also a fear. Like the Bible says that the Lord wants us to serve him with fear and trembling, right? Well, that is a healthy fear. He don't mean be afraid. I mean, be afraid. Because, I mean, listen, if you know that God can do whatever he want to do, you want to be a little bit scared. But you don't want to be afraid, because more than he wants to harm us, he wants to love us. He wants to give us a future and an expected end. He wants to give us exceedingly and abundantly above all that we can ask or think. All these things, this is what he wants for us. So that reverence is just that, to be respectful, to reverence who he is, him being all knowing, all powerful, omnipresent, him being just that. It's the same thing when it comes to unlearning poor behaviors, poor mindsets, killing that flesh, that mental flesh. Again, we cannot skin ourselves. We can't. The flesh that we have to kill is what has been planted in our mind, what has been planted in our situation and circumstances that have led to us having the mindsets that we have currently. Um, Brett said, I'll still tune in. Thank you, Brett. I look forward to seeing you there. Nira asked if I have Instagram again. Nira, I'm not giving my Instagram or my email address anymore. I have just a weird person doing a lot of weird things, and so I'm just not going to do that anymore. Miguel said, same here, I will tune in as well. Chat room Goon said, a whole lot of sensuality in this. All right, I appreciate you. Thank you. God bless you. Yeah, and so that's it, y'all. So I hope that you guys are not too taken aback with the new direction. I told y'all last week, y'all, it's a whole lot of things coming up, and I was super excited to just kind of pull back the layers and really give you guys a sneak peek into my everyday. Like I was talking earlier, and I was saying, like, these are things that I do throughout the day anyways. Okay, these are things that I do throughout the day anyways, so like it really didn't feel like I was trying to create something that didn't exist. This is just my everyday life, and this is still just scratching the surface. I read, all kinds of things happen in that day because I have a desire to walk this journey through, but help people along the way, and where it makes sense to them, where it doesn't seem like it's impossible to be done. I'm a person that is in love with the process, and I feel like the process is necessary so that I can help somebody else overcome what it is that they might be facing. Okay. I am silly. I am silly all the time, majority of the time. I love having a great sense of humor. We will still have all of our fun times. We still have colorful conversations tomorrow. 1 p.m. colorful conversations will be in effect. We will be coloring and just kind of shooting the breeze. Only on Mondays will we have Mars and Venus with myself and Uno. But for the most part, like, it's nothing that's going to be drastically different. I'm just giving you guys a sneak peek behind the scenes. Okay, so I hope that you guys are excited about what's to come. Thank you for being engaging. I told you guys about melanated mushrooms. If you're not tapped in, y'all go find them. All you gotta do is tap it in, melanated mushroom. And we're trying to get them to 50 subscribers because we need them to have 50 subscribers. Okay, so you guys head over there if you do not mind. Also, if you're not subscribed to Uno in Real Life, if you're not subscribed to The Ones Detective Agency, this is what we're doing. This is what we're building. And that's just what it is, right? That's just what it is. Brent has been over there to The Ones Detective Agency, our true crime, and he'll tell you it's a good time. It's a good time. Chase has been over there. Quite a few people have come over there to visit. There are a few people, there are several people that are mods in this chat that are also family members of Flash Mob Entertainment, and we travel like that. That's what it is. That's what goes on. So tap in, tap in, tap in. Miguel said, I am excited for the new schedule, and I am excited to see what's going to happen on this channel too. Thank you, Miguel. I appreciate that. I'm excited to see too, because I told y'all a long time ago, I don't have no idea. Okay, I'm just doing what I feel led to do, what I hear God say I have permission to do, and that's it. That's it. I don't know. I don't know. I told y'all before, the goal was for me to remain consistent. Consistency was my first test. Like, will you go live every day? Will you make sure that you are a good steward over this part of it? And the rest of it was going to start to make sense within himself. Joseph said, hello, pretty. Sword Umar said, body count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you mean, my limbs? Like my head? 1, 2. What am I counting? What am I counting? Nonetheless, so it's been exciting. It's been fun. It's been really, really fun, guys. I have enjoyed today. Today really felt so super good. And Brent, shout out to you. When I tell you, you have been rocking and rolling, you have been rocking and rolling, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. It's always good to see your name in there. It's always good to see your name in there. I thank you for that. Um, of course, Flash Mob family. Uno is always going to be around. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. He's always going to be overlooking me. When I tell you he was knocking comments out, this morning, making sure that the chat remained respectful as we were going into. I really appreciate that. That's so super dope. Just to have people around you that really, 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 really rock with you. That is cool. That is exciting for me to experience, to witness. I'm used to being the Lone Ranger out here, right? I'm not used to having a bunch of people that really just pour back into me. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. What'd you say 90% of the time, Brent? Brent, you've been riding. Miguel, you've also been around today as well. But Brent really rocked out. Brent even came over there on the detective agency, hung out with us over there, came this morning into the live, this afternoon into the live, and now he is back again this evening. I appreciate you. For sure, I appreciate you. I started to put my message up there on the wall again. Like, I'm just trying to see something. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see something. I'm trying to see. Okay. That it's just really funny to me. Anytime, it's just really funny to me. It's just really, really funny to me. So, yeah, but I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all, Bosco, what's going on? Welcome to the live stream. What you got going on? Y'all, we are finished with what we have to discuss for our evening. So now we're just talking to you guys. And I'll talk to you guys for about another 30 minutes. And then we'll get off of here and let you guys go and start your evening and really, really, really wind down for the day. Miguel said, I've been on the live too. Yes, you had. That's what I said. You have been on the live. What's going on, Blacks? Hey, how are you? Just popping in. Why are you just popping in? Why are you not hanging around? It's always a good time over there and very knowledgeable for sure. Yeah, it's a good time. It's really a good time. It's really a good time. Yeah, why you just popping in and not hanging around? Y'all, for dinner, I made some salmon, mashed potatoes, and some green beans. Everybody's excited about dinner. I think I'm gonna make some croissants. Daughter, can you make the croissants? You don't know how to make croissants?
I said, why do we have to make croissants?
Cause what is Deuce gonna eat? Y'all know my baby, he don't eat nothing. Okay, we always have to fix him something separate. So you don't want to make the croissants for your brother?
We don't make them.
What do you mean? You're making this complicated. Just say no. Say no.
We don't have
No, no, no,
croissants
no.
in the refrigerator.
I just bought them. Why would I ask you to make something I didn't buy? But just say no. Say no. Nope. Say no. Okay. Anywho, I know you got clients. I know you got clients. You're a busy, busy, busy man. Busy man. And I understand. Yeah, y'all, like, I promise, I feel so happy about today. Today has been really, really good. Like, really, really good. For real. Really, really good. Really, really good. It's a lot of things that, I don't know, something. You ever had, appreciate you for always having me. Yeah, for sure, Brent. You ever had, like, I don't know, like, just it feels like something clicks within you. Like, that's how I feel. I felt this way since Friday night. Okay, since Saturday morning, I woke up feeling like a brand new person. Like, my mind wasn't different. My mind was different. My mind wasn't the same anymore. It was just like something shifted, something changed. And I'm here for it. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. And I just try not to make too much of it. And I'm just going with the flow of it. But like, it's not requiring me to do anything crazy. It's just requiring me to be intentional. And that part of it is like, man, I love this for me. I love this for me. Yes, that you were saying, that's what you were saying earlier, that 90% of the time I was silly. Well, I'm gonna say 72. 72% of the time I'm silly. All right. The other 16, I don't know. Is it 16? 18. See? 18. 18. But yes, I am a very silly person. I'm a very silly person. Like I said, I like good energy. I like positive vibes. I like positive vibes. I just like to feel peace. I love peace. When my husband passed away, God blessed me with a peace that surpasses understanding. Let me tell you something. It will make you feel crazy for a minute, okay? Because I was so used to the chaos that once I was blessed with this peace, it really took me some time to accept the peace because I was used to responding to things in a different manner. I was used to feeling things in a different manner. And what was insane was the fact that my peers, my friends, my church members would be like, girl, if my husband, then I would be doing this. And girl, I don't know what I would do. And girl, and they were planting seeds in my head telling me how they would respond if they were in said situation. And so in my mind, I started thinking like, okay, wait, should I be acting like this? Should I be doing this? And so what ended up happening was they planted seeds that I tried to make produce fruit. I tried to make them eat. Listen, even if fruit is rotten, you can still produce fruit if you allow something that somebody says to you, you come into agreement with it. And because my husband passing was such a tragedy, everybody in town, everybody around had all these expectations and all these things that they thought. And so when people said that I wasn't grieving properly, now this is not people that are in my house. People that are in my house knew how I was grieving. I'm not a person that wears my heart on my sleeve. I'm not that person. So when I leave my house, if I'm in my house boohoo crying for 9 hours, that is nobody at the mailbox's business how I needed to open my front door or what I had to do to open my front door. That's nobody's business. But people were making me feel like I had to do something like, you know, you'd be surprised what people said. And so, but in that whole time, my real feeling is I had such a sense of peace, such a sense of peace, such a sense of peace that I could not explain it. And it felt like it was unacceptable because people were saying they would be acting like this. They would be acting like that. They would. And so, man, when you break free of those people, you did it.
No, girl has the other cookie sheet.
You can use the glass Pyrex pan, the big one. I think I just washed it. And if not, just put on a piece of foil. We have the heavy duty foil. You don't have to put on there. You put on a piece of foil. But I attempted to come into peace. Come into agreement with the things that people were saying, and the things that people were saying were outlandish. It was like, bro, you cannot be for real. You cannot be for real. But I tried. I was like, this is the only way they're going to think that, or they're going to know that I miss my husband. This is the only way that they're going to know that I'm in pain. You know, so then I started to try to take on what other people were saying. But once I was freed from people pleasing and people's expectation and I rested into the peace that God blessed me with, y'all, I have been just so captivated by the peace. Like, I can't even explain it. I see people getting upset with just anything. Okay, thank you. I'll take 72%. I see people getting upset with just anything. I see people just being away about things. And the whole while, I'm just like, oh. Now, that's not saying that there aren't things that get me upset. Yes, I have a moment of upset, but like, I never rest in just being upset. Most of the time, if I'm upset, it's like an attack of my character. I don't like for people to attack my character, because I don't have any negative intentions in me. I cannot control if something I say may come off the wrong way. Okay, God is still working on my delivery in some areas, but for the most part, like, I just try to just stay very level, very even, very considerate. I try to always consider people in all things, and that's just something that I enjoy doing. Am I perfect at that? No, because any attack of my character that I feel, or if you are playing with my intelligence, I will definitely just kinda, okay, like real quick. Okay, I do not can't stand it. Um, what you cannot control how you talk to people. No, that's not what I said. I said sometimes I have an issue with how I say something to somebody that I can't really control. If you are attacking my character, I can't really control how it comes out, and that's something that God is still delivering me from. That's what I said. 72%. I'll take that 72% of the time. Yes. Yes. But I used to be a person that absolutely could not control how I talk to somebody. And I didn't care to control how I talk to somebody. And so in the refining of how God started to change my delivery, like the things that I used to say to people, because you have to think in this moment I was in defense mode, right? Because all I knew was survival. I've been on my own since I was like 14 years old. When my grandmother passed away, my mom sent me. My grandma got sick with cancer. I moved with my mom for a minute. Once my grandmother passed, my mom sent me back to Louisiana. I come back to Louisiana, and I was living at my aunt's house, from one aunt to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. My mom come back here when I was 16, about to be 17 years old. And now there is now you're trying to give me this structure, and you're trying to give me this parenting, when I've been out here for the last 2.5 years surviving, right? And so there was anger, and there was resentment, and there was just all kinds of on top of this. And so now I'm feeling all these things. I'm experiencing all these things, a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. And now I have to decipher this, right? And so I feel like there's nobody in my corner. There's nobody in the world for me that cares for me. So I had to learn how to protect myself, right? I used to prepare to stay away from people, or even especially when it came to like situations in relationships. Like I would always say, I'm gonna do to you what you thought you were gonna do to me, because it wasn't because I thought they were gonna hurt me. It was because I never felt worthy enough to be loved. So to prevent me from falling into a space to where I loved you, or I allowed myself to love you, I would always sabotage the moment before it could ever even grow wings, right? Okay, let's see. Just stay positive. That's how I see it too. That's exactly what I heard you say. You didn't care. Yeah. Just stay positive. That's how I see it too. But I misunderstood, belay. I don't know what belay mean, Uno. That's a new word. Belay my last. Hey, Uno, what's up, big brother? Yeah, I hate people playing with me intellectually and then try to minimize it as, oh, if you take it that way, that's on you. Yeah, like, and what's crazy when it comes to somebody saying that's me, it really is, right? So even if somebody says something to me, and this happens often, right? If somebody says something to me and it's hurtful to me, it's not their fault that I'm hurt, right? I gotta process that hurt. I gotta process, why do I feel that way? If the person that I'm speaking with, if this is a person that I can really talk to, then I can say, hey, wait a minute. I ain't really like that. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't cool for me. I don't know what you meant, how you meant it, or why you meant it, but I'm telling you, I didn't like that. And if I can come to that space with a person, then okay, still, that still may not fix how I feel. They didn't mean to be away with me. That's just how I took it. And we all take things in different ways because of our own influences, our own triggers, things that make us tick, make us angry, we all take them the wrong way. We all, not the wrong way, we all take things a certain way, and different things affect people differently. Whereas I may not be upset about my daughter telling me, "Ooh, girl, I do not like the back of your hair." Okay? However, if my mom comes and say, "Ooh, you need to do something with your nails," that may offend, I may be offended. And she's just telling me, "Girl, because they uneven. You need to fix them." Right? But that would offend me. Right? And but that's, she didn't mean it to be offensive. She just meant to tell me, "Hey, listen, you know, you need to fix that. You need to fix that." But those things happen. And that emotion that we experience in that, that's the, I like, this is just on a personal level. I like to figure out why. So if somebody says something that makes me nervous, if somebody says something and it makes me sad, it makes me angry, my goal is to figure out why did what they say make me feel that way. That's what I want to know. Why did what said person say, why did it make me feel like this? That's important for me to know, rather than how whatever was said made me feel. I want to know within myself, why did I feel like that? Why did that hurt so bad? Or why did that sting so much to say that? Like, I want to know, so that when it happens again, I can immediately say, "Okay, wait a minute now. This is familiar, and we've had this issue happen before. So why did you say you feel like that? Is this what is this attached to?" That's what I'm on. Let me see. Let's say we agree to disagree. If you trigger me saying something rude or disrespectful, then don't try to fix it. I'll never allow you that space again, ever. That's dodging accountability. I mean, yes, we will have to agree to disagree, because I don't think that's dodging accountability. I think that it is just simply that, like, people process information differently. And whereas somebody can say something lighthearted, or say something, somebody can say something and they don't mean, perfect example, my friend Consuela, I wish she was on the live stream. She says things and she doesn't mean any harm to her, but sometimes when she says these things, I be like, "Good night, girl, that was, oh wee," right? And so I immediately go within myself, like, "Wait a minute, why did when she say that, it made me feel a way?" And if I have a question about it, I call her, like, "Hey, when you said such and such and such, what did you mean by that?" Because now I'm trying to understand, especially if it's something that sits with me, then I got to figure it out. Like, I got to be like, "Wait a minute now, why did I feel like this? Why did you say this?" And especially if it's like again, like a relationship that I care about, Consuelo specifically, like, I'm gonna ask her every time, like, wait, what do you mean? I'll tell her too. Even Uno tell her, I'll tell her then, like, "I didn't like that. That wasn't cool." Like, she always says something. I'm short, okay? I'm short. I have big legs, okay? She'll always say something about my legs. And I'm like, "Girl, why every time I see you, you got something to say about my legs?" I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable. That makes me not feel like, why is it that you have to point out this thing about me that you know that I have an issue with, right? But I'll say something to her. Does that stop it? No, no. She still be going. You said something that was offensive and then blame that person you affected. Now, that is accountability dodging, in my opinion. But does she say, "Oh, you should deal with it"? She doesn't say you should deal with it, but she just lets it be. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't say, "Oh, go deal with your emotions." She said, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way." And we move on to the next thing. And so then I go within myself, like, "Okay, wait a minute now. Well, why did that make me feel a certain kind of way? What was her intention? What was her motivation behind that? What was, what you mean that's different?" Because even if I'm saying something, like, if I say something to somebody and I'm like, and it hurts their feelings, I'm not gonna actively say out of my mouth to that person, "Them your feelings, deal with it." I'm not gonna say that. I'm not going to say that. Am I going to leave it there if we're not going to talk about it? Yes, I'm going to leave it there if we're not going to talk about it. But if we're going to talk about it, then we're going to talk about it, and we're going to get to a space of understanding. Like, "Okay, no, I meant this. You took it like this. pardon me for making you feel that way. That wasn't my intention. And that's that. I'm not going to say to that person, hey, you feel how you feel. No, I'm not going to say that to the person. If I'm talking about the situation, wait, hey, my love, was chatting about this. We just chit chatting. She said she didn't blame you for her offensive action, but you say you took it that way. She didn't. Yes, I was offended. And that's what we were talking about. I was offended by what she said. She didn't blame me. She said it. So she couldn't blame me for her offensive action. I was offended. So I needed to understand why I was offended. Because I took it like that. And that wasn't on her that I took it like that, because she didn't mean any harm. She was just talking just to be talking, just saying something just to be saying, and not even thinking. And that's like another thing, like, when you're talking to friends and you're just talking, you're just talking. You're just talking. Now, it becomes a thing when you're talking to your friends and your friends are looking for something to they're looking for something other than listening. Like there's a certain thing of active listening, and there's a certain thing where people are listening to find fault, right? And if somebody is listening to find fault, then that's what they're going to always find, is a fault somewhere. But that's not how we talking. Me and her, we're just talking. We just shooting a breeze. We may misquote a scripture. We may say something about, like, any and everything. Uh, wait. Okay. Yeah, we may say, we just be talking, like, we just talk freely, not where we're having to monitor our words, because we have that type of rapport where we're not. I don't have to monitor my words with her. She doesn't have to monitor her words with me. If I say something that she don't like, she gonna tell me. If she says something that I don't like, I'm gonna tell her. And that's just how our friendship is, because we get it. Like, we get it. If it's one of those instances where I have a real gripe with her and we really have to sit down and have a conversation, then I'm going to take my time before I talk to her to have a conversation within myself, to make sure that I am not being rude, that I'm not being ugly, that I don't say something that sounds condescending, that I'm not being nice, nasty, that I'm approaching her from a space of love. If it's something that we need to address that matters, right? If it's something that we need to address that matters, then that's how we go about those things. But other than that, if we just talking, like, we just talking, somebody is liable to say the wrong thing. Somebody is liable to do the wrong thing, because even though this is my friend, I don't know all of her boundaries. I'm learning her daily as she's learning herself. We're changing, we're growing, we're evolving. All these things are happening. So, like, it's never going to be one of those instances where we're always perfectly capable of avoiding one another's toes. No, because we're growing at different places, we're growing at different spaces, and different things are happening to us in real life. Uh, oh, that's my mama. Genesis, call your grandma. I was gonna say, how did somebody get through there? And I got my phone on D&D. That's my mama. Stop playing. Hold on. I'm going off. Good evening, sexy. How was your day? Love you, Queen. Okay, Jose, have a good day. Okay, I seen that when what's his name? Cheat. Him came up in there. But we can block you for real. Stop playing with my family, bro. Please be respectful. Sorry. Oh. But well, I appreciate you. That's terrible, Chi, that you had to come in here with all of your chaos before you could relax. The men had to get on you and tell you to calm down. You didn't even hang out before you started doing silly things or saying silly things. You didn't see what was going on. You did not read the room. So, maybe next time you will, okay? Maybe next time you will. But yeah, so that's just one instance, and that's one of the most, outside of the relationship with Uno, that's one of the most vocal relationships that I have in my life. I talk to those two people more than I talk to anybody on a daily basis, right? And so like in those situations, like we're all growing, we're all evolving in real time, and we're changing, and what worked yesterday is not going to work today, and what worked tomorrow is not the same thing that worked yesterday. And so it's like being able to understand everybody and everybody's growth pattern, everybody's growth response is definitely different. It's definitely different. And I'm not going to even say difficult, because just because things change, that don't make it difficult. It just makes it to where you have to adjust, especially because these are not people that you see every day. These are not people that you're around every day. You don't get to see them. You don't get to see them in a weakness or in a vulnerability too often. So you don't know them like a mate or a roommate or a spouse would know them. You just know them from the encounters that you get to share with them. So like in those instances, hold on, it's not about avoiding stepping on toes. It's the way you handle someone you love is family after you may have offended them with your words or actions. No, I agree with that. I agree with that. We're talking after the fact, then that's something that's completely different. We're talking afterwards. But when we were scoping it, we were scoping it in real time action. Like, okay, in real time, I said something that made you feel a way, and then, but I'm not aware that it made you feel that way. Then, in my opinion, I can't be held accountable that it made you feel that way if that wasn't my intention. And once I find out that what I said made you feel a way, it is now my responsibility to tell you my intention. Oh, I didn't mean that, or I did mean that, or how I meant that, or I wasn't looking at it like that, or whatever have you. That becomes my responsibility. But the right, that's what I'm saying. Like if it's something that happened within you, like the other person just said what they said, that don't mean that they meant for it to feel like it was taken, like I took it, like it didn't mean for it to feel like I took it, right? Now, but you always have to understand motives, like understand the people that you're dealing with. If you know the people that you're dealing with, if you really know the people that you're dealing with, especially people that you call friends, people that you talk with, if you know these people, then you can discern their motives. You can discern whether or not they're being intentionally evil to you, intentionally rude, intentionally condescending. You can discern these things because you know these people, right? But if you don't really know a person and you have an angst with a person, then I can see like, okay, now you feel some kind of way after the fact. But like, if you just talking to somebody, it's definitely hard to not be like, okay, my bad. Absolutely. Know the people you're dealing with, or that acts they wait. Absolutely know the people you're dealing with, or that ask they show great conversation. Oh, the mask they show great conversation. Yes, very good. But you have to be, you just have to be aware of your people. You just have to be aware of your people. And if you really 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 know people, if you really really are invested in people, the people that you put in your life, then that means you're invested in seasons, you're invested in everything about them. Man, I'm telling you, man, me and Consuela have been through so many seasons where sometimes we like each other and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we avoid each other. Sometimes we can't get enough of each other. That's just what it is, right? And it's not that we're ever not friends. It's always just a question of why are we friends, girl? Especially in those seasons where it is hard for us, where there's a growth pattern, or where I was inspired by something she did, or she was inspired by something I did, and one of us feel like the other person is copying what we did, and one of us feel like especially in those times, like we be having to just Take a break, okay? Take a break, cause if I call you this, I'm mad at her this week. I just did a hair the other day, but I'm mad at her this week, cause I called her. Oh, I hope she watched this. I called her and I was like, "Hey, girl," I sent her a picture and everything. I was like, "Hey, girl, can you make this uh what was it? This duster. Can you make this duster for me? Cause she crochets. She's like an avid crochet. I'm like, hey girl, can you make this duster for me? And she's like, you know, I don't know. I just really haven't been in the mood. And then the next day, she sends me a picture of a duster that the duster that I sent her, she made it for herself. Yes. Yeah. No, that is. Listen, why are we friends? What is? How do we grow with each other? What are the benefits of this friendship? What does this do for us? What does this friendship do for us? What are we gaining? Am I pouring into you? Are you pouring into me? Is this a fair exchange? Does this feel one sided? Like, yes. Why are we friends? That is I ask that about all of my friends. I don't. If I call you a friend, I've asked myself that very question. Why are we friends? Why are we friends? Not necessarily that there was something wrong, but like I don't want just people in my life just to say that they're in my life. I don't need a bunch of people. I just need people who are supposed to be there. So once I learned that you're supposed to be there, then I don't care what the season looks like. I don't care what we got to do to press through what I don't care anything about how hard it gets, how difficult it gets. If you're supposed to be there, then we're gonna do the work. Okay? This is a relationship. All right. You gonna like me sometimes. I'm gonna like you sometimes. Sometimes you're not, sometimes I'm not, and I'm okay with that. But if you're supposed to be there, then man, you're supposed to be there. I want to know why. Why are you supposed to be there? All right, big bro, no, and big bro Brent, I'm holding things down for y'all too. What do you do if you have a friend that doesn't own up to their wrongdoing or make up something to shift narratives to deflect blame? How would you handle that? It just depends. I have I have different approaches for different people, and even though even though yeah, I have, yes, even though this person may even though this person may create narratives to what one would consider to shift blame, I think that I would have to ask myself, why is this? Why is this so? Why is this person's interpretation as such? Why is it that I feel like this person is doing these things? Am I listening to what they're saying? Am I just taking on what it is that I feel like is the outcome? Right? I would wonder for myself, like I would just have questions about why it is that this is the case. And am I misinterpreting this conversation? Am I mishearing what they're saying? Do I understand the difference in them having this conversation with me and what could really be the reality of the conversation? Like, and it happens. I do it. I have in my mind, if something happens and to me it doesn't feel right, it doesn't sit right, it doesn't line up to be the way that I think that it should be, then I am creating these stories in my brain cells to try to decipher how this could be. Sometimes I need another perspective so that I can say, okay, well, wait a minute, I didn't look at it like that. Because if I'm viewing it in a way, then this is how I viewed it. I can't say how their intentions, again, that's why I said, like, it's about how that person feels. People can't control how I feel, how you feel, how any of us feel. Our own feelings are our own responsibility, our interpretation. I think about this. There's a story in the Bible with the man who was lowered down into the ceiling. Okay, Jesus was in this house and he was healing the people, and these friends took this man, they lured him down into the building because it was so packed. It was so packed around the streets, it was so packed around inside of the house, and there was no other way inside the house but through the ceiling. I think about the story when they went to talk to, what's, I forget the king name, let me look up his name, but he was almost convinced. Okay, I think about these things, I think about the Bible in general and the people that they selected to tell the story. There were thousands and thousands of witnesses to the stories happening. Okay, but there were thousands of different interpretations of how it happened. We can all be in one room at the same time and all of us will give a different version of what we saw happen in that space. So that doesn't make her or the person story try to be suitable for what they're experiencing. It makes them, their interpretation of it, different from maybe what really happened, or maybe how you're viewing it hearing the story, or maybe how somebody else, you know what I'm saying? So like you just don't know. Like, so my handling with it will be just to listen. Like if that's what I'm supposed to be doing anyways, is listening, then that's what I would do. Is just listen, like, oh, okay. Okay. Well, why do you think that happened? Like, I'm a question person. Like, why do you think that happened? Why do you feel that way? Because I want to understand how you got there first. How did you get to this? And then after I hear what you said and how you got to here, then I'll say, well, have you thought about this? And that's all I can offer. I can't change your mind, because if I'm not having the experience in real time, then I don't really know. Brent said if they don't own up, that means they're going to do it again. So we might as well get an understanding right now, because I can't let that slide. That's it. Get an understanding so you know who you dealing with, who you talking to. And Muslim, I'm Muslim, do you have a problem? No, I don't have a problem. That's your business. Awesome to hear this. Yeah, and you? Okay, well, I guess I missed something. Yeah. So that's, that's it. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. The way I view things are different than the way other people view things, and that doesn't mean that I'm always right, but it does mean that that's my view. Like, that's how I see it. That's how I see it. And so that doesn't make any of us wrong. It just makes our interpretation different than the next person.
I'm also that we need to come get Deuce's name tag and to bring the clothes when we get them,
Okay.
so she can hurry and get it.
Brent Thomas facts, but they don't want to accept their role. A equal, what is that? Being disrespectful. They say, oh, that's how you take it. Chia said, yeah, you guys, sorry. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Like, I will always feel like I can't change how somebody feels about something. I can't change how my son, he'll say that in a minute. Like, you can't make me feel a way. You can't make me feel a way. That's how I feel. You can't make me feel away. Like, I can't. I don't know. I can't make a person feel a way. I mean, I can't change how a person feels. Just like nobody can change how I feel. Like, nobody can change how you feel about something. You can come to a space of understanding, but you can't change your feeling. She is the queen on her own channel too. I'm the protector of the family. Do you know little for Islam? I don't know what that means, Chi. I don't have any problem with how you believe. That's your business. I'm not gonna try to change your mind. Don't try to change mine. All is well. This is a fair playing field. It really is crazy. That's why my circle is small. Yep. Yep. You have to be mindful. You have to be careful. Every season is not for every person, and that's okay. That's okay. I think that sometimes you just get to a space to where, okay, listen, I just don't want to anymore. I don't have a desire to be invested in this person, this relationship. I don't have a desire to do this anymore. I'm no longer interested in whatever they meant or however they meant it. I don't care because I'm just not interested. And that's okay too, because things change, people grow, people digress. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of things happen. So, it just depends on where you are. No, that's a fact. I don't think that I speak badly to my people. Okay. Do I think that I say the right thing all the time? No. I'm probably sure I don't say the right thing all the time, but I don't think that I speak badly to my people. Anybody that's in my life that feels like that I have said something bad to them, that I've spoke something negative over them, like, that's beyond me, because that's not something that I do to people. Again,